Hello. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to find intercepts, x-intercepts, and y-intercepts, and symmetry of graphs and equations. So let's start with talking about intercepts. All right, so first let's just take a look at a graph. Okay, it's a little hard to draw on here. So, okay, and then let's give this a couple dashes up here. Okay, so intercepts, we have what's called x-intercepts. And of course, that is where a graph would cross the x-axis. So we are looking at a couple x-intercepts here. One here, 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 and here. So one way to say that is just x equals, looks like this first one is -4, and then -2, 2, and 5. I purposely made it a little non-symmetric. That's one way to say it. Another way to list x-intercepts would be to list the coordinates of each one. So in other words, that first point is -4, 0, -2, 0, 2, 0, and 5, 0. So those are also the x-intercepts. And to find x-intercepts, all you have to do is find where y is equal to 0. And that'll help us when we're doing it with equations. And another way to say x-intercepts is to call it the roots or the solutions to an equation. So you're going to want to be familiar with all those terms. So x-intercept, you could be asked, or roots or solutions, kind of all means the same thing there. Okay, so there's our x-intercepts. For our y-intercept, we are looking for where the graph crosses the y-axis. So I'm seeing just the one place right there at 0, 3. So that would be y equals 3 is the y-intercept, or you could write that as 0, 3. And that, of course, would be then where x equals 0. And then just something to note, if the graph is a function, then there will be only one, y-intercept. What was I writing there? You never know. Only one y-intercept. All right, so let's take a look at what this looks like with an equation, how we would find the x and y-intercepts with an equation. So for example, the equation y equals x squared minus x minus 6. We're going to find the intercepts. So first of all, to find the x-intercepts, we're always going to set y equal to 0. And that, in this case, since y is over here, that would be 0 equals x squared minus x minus 6. And then we have to try to solve for x, if we can. In this case, since it's a quadratic, we're probably going to want to factor or use the quadratic formula. If you don't remember the quad formula, we will be reviewing that in a couple more lessons, in the next week probably. But for now, let's just do a simple factoring and hope that that will suffice. So we're going to say that would be x times x. Remember, factoring is the opposite of multiplying it out or of foiling. All right, so we need something that multiplies to be -6, and at the same time it adds to be this middle term, -1. So the 6, I would say that would probably be 2 and 3. And when we add 2 and 3, we actually want to add a -3 and a +2. And if you check this by foiling it out, you can check that that does indeed equal that. The reason we do that then is we can set x plus 2 equal to 0 and x minus 3 equal to 0. So we get x is equal to -2 or x is equal to 3. So our x-intercepts are -2 and +3. Another way, again, to write those would be to say -2, 0 and 3, 0, and that's the points. Okay, and then to find the y-intercept, we're going to set x is equal to 0. Okay, so that would look like y equals 0 squared minus 0 minus 6. Okay, so obviously that is y is equal to -6, and that's our y-intercept. Or we could write that as a point. Remember, x is 0 and y is -6 would be the point. We'll come back with another video on symmetry in graphs. Thanks.